Mother of fuck, I've been muted for the whole time. Okay, fuck me. Alright, let's go back. Let's do this one more time. Kill me. Alright. Our wedding. Alright, side by side on a purple dyed fall leather couch. You sat with your husband, Cove. I'm pretty sure the dyed is superfluous. The air in the chic office smelled non-distinctly perfumed, though luckily it was a demure touch rather than smothering. A soft hum came from the air conditioning, gently flowing the scent around the room. It was the first time either of you had been there, and you weren't sure if the atmosphere was meant to comfort or impress visitors. For some people, it wouldn't make a difference either way, like with your own partner, for example. Cope's hand was intently gripping yours. You could feel him trembling and hear the squishing noise the couch made each time he shifted around. One part came from his usual nervousness over these kinds of matters, and the other came from an almost uncontainable excitement for the same reason. This place was the headquarters of a well-known event planning agency in the area, and this office belonged to their planner for a very particular type of a special occasion: weddings. You were here to plan your wedding together. Legally, you were already married, so you sat around. But you'd waited to have a full-blown occasion for it, with a ceremony, reception, and everything. You felt truly content. You were overflowing with thrilled energy. You matched with Cove, shaking from nerves. It felt totally natural, like no big deal to you. Her focus was on being concerned for Cove. I'm gonna go with that one. You couldn't help dwelling on him with how overwhelmed he was. The saving grace that he was getting you through was knowing that... The saving grace that was getting you through this was knowing that the meeting should be straightforward. Introducing yourself to the planning team, getting familiar with one another, and going over only some basics. And only going over some basics, I think. The entire process would take multiple visits here and trips to the other locations. Before setting up the appointment with the planner, you and Cove had decided that you were going to set the wedding in, or at least near, Sunset Bird. You also had a good idea of who would be attending, how large the wedding needed to be, and a few other details related to your lives together going forward. That was as far as you had gotten in the process when you decided to bring in assistance. All the planning was going to be great, you thought. It was going to be a pain, but would be worth it, you felt. Okay, so one thing. Maybe it's just me being me. But if you're gonna go with Ghana in one answer, you gotta go with the other one as well, right? It was gonna be a pain, but it would be worth it, you felt? Now, I would say that it should never be Ghana, wanna, etc. But that's just me. Anyway, you're thankful you had a professional to do this with, because no thank you. Cope caught your mind wandering away from you, and the corners of his mouth lifted encouragingly. His second hand reached over to clasp both yours and his first. Now here's the thing. I don't like this sentence. I think it would be a much better sentence if we used something like, one of his hands reached over to clasp both of yours and his other hand. Right? Or his left hand, his right hand, specify. It could also be used to show Cope's handedness, right? I don't know if he's a lefty or not. But either way, you could show that without having to specifically state it out with stuff like this. Probably not this specific, but whatever. A metallic sensation pressed into your skin, the engagement ring securely on his left ring finger. Your feet shuffled against a black and white striped rug that covered over the center of the hardwood floor as you returned that smile back. Take out that over, you don't need it. It's not necessary. It's a rug on floor. It's implied. Here we are. It's really happening. His fingers squeeze your hand deeper into his hold. I'm not really good with, well, any of this, but I'm sure that whatever it ends up being like, it's going to be amazing. It has to be, because it's with you. You're so wonderful. I completely agree. I'm glad you're feeling good about things. Yeah, and hopefully you only panic a moderate amount along the way. I don't know. I think this is supposed to be joking, but it feels weirdly mean to me. I had to turn your face away out of shyness, gave an earnest nod. Yeah. And then there was a series of quick knocks. Your conversation stopped as you shared unsure looks between one another. Come in? In response to Cove's words, the shiny wood door off to the side swung open. Hello, lovebirds. Standing in the entryway was a tall man about your age. His dark, gray hair was swept to the side, and on his neck was a distinctive mole. Okay, how is this dark gray? Anyway. His skirt grew in and brown eyes grew wide in sync.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I love would have been a lie if you two dolls had broken up. Cove stirred while frozen in place, a deer in the headlights, his mouth opened, then closed again soundlessly. By the way, this killer line. Fucking love it. Perfect. 10/10. 10 out of 10. Maybe 11 out of 10. Cove stared while frozen in place, a deer in the headlight. His mouth opened, then closed again soundlessly. Hi. Baxter, do you know this person, Cove? This is awkward. This is amazing. You're right there between Cove and the man confused. You're speechless seeing him. Okay, let's see what we get. Let's start here. The former tourist stepped further into the room while chuckling.
That's wonderful.
Holy motherfuck. That voice is... Mwah. Excellent. Right started between Cove and the man confused. The acquaintance of Cove stepped further into the room while chuckling. I'm flattered a person of such excellence remembers me too. And that I didn't even have to dress in black and white. He brushed his bangs from his eyes when turning to face you. I'm Baxter Ward. We've met. Holy motherfuck. This fucker managed to just get even better with age. Perfect. That sounds weird. I stayed in a condo on your street for a summer. It clicked for you then. It was the unusual tourist who dressed in black and white whenever you saw him. Okay, back. This is amazing. The former tourist stepped further into the room while chuckling.
That's wonderful.
God, that voice is...
That's wonderful.
Okay, same. Do you know this person, Cove? Okay. Baxter, former tourist stepped further into the room while chuckling.
That's wonderful.
I'm flattered you two people of excellence remember me too. And I didn't have to dress in black and white. I don't know about that. This huge black and white rug is kinda of a clue. He laughed again, brushing his bangs from his eyes. True. It was exciting to see it was really him. Ticked. Only feel shocked and disbelief. No, I fucking love Baxter. You know, it was exciting to see it was really him. This is an incredible, unexpected reunion. It's been a while. Years.
I know.
Yeah, it has been. Look at this, he's blushing. Come on, you cannot tell me, right? You cannot tell me that Baxter, Cove, and the main character is not, like, plausible, right? You cannot tell me that. I refuse to believe it. Yeah, it has been. Cope dropped his response heavily. The tone likely would have been even firmer if he wasn't still in disbelief that Baxter had reappeared in front of Vote of You, and as a wedding planner of all things. You're a wedding planner. What happened? Do you have an explanation for it? Well, as professionally as possible, Baxter stirred to the other half of the room and took a seat in the rolling office chair opposite the couch you were on. He used the tips of his feet to smoothly twist the chair's position so that it faced you completely as he continued to reply. I went back to college, eventually graduated, joined the great wide career world, grew up and learned some more. I'm still learning. Good grief, this man just gets even more attractive the more he speaks. To fully settle in, Baxter dropped an elbow on the armrest of his seat and rested his cheek against a popped-up fist. That's the curated version. Life is a wonderful journey. The words are spoken flatly and authentically and punctuated with a dismissive gesture of his free hand. Okay, completely wrong read I had on that one. It was impossible to tell if the sarcasm was purely in response to Cove's own sharpness or if he was something else. Or if there was something else. Even Cove raised an eyebrow at how clear the displeasure was. Baxter was aware of the impression he was giving, but only half shrugged, with his shoulder over it. His eyes darted away from you and your partner, drifted away from you and your partner. Very different. Whatever the story was, you definitely weren't getting the full version of it. Okay. 1 is good. 3 is something I might say. And this is also something I might say. I'm gonna go with I miss you. A bent formed in his brows, a small sign of regret. So did I. No. So did I. A little better, I think. I'm not sure.
Now,
That's my introduction taken care of. Let's swing things back around to the real reason you came. You're getting married. Congratulations. You were given an enthusiastic round of applause from the audience of one. You had been able to tell Baxter about your engagement before he left. Baxter never found out about your proposal that summer night. Okay. It's funnier if this is... Yeah, so, but let's see what happens here. You didn't see him in person after it happened and never had a good chance to bring it up. How did the engagement happen? It must have been wonderfully emotional. A shame. I had left town before I could find out. Cope clears his throat in an attempt to distract from his own embarrassment. Actually, remember that night near the end of your vacation on Sunset Bird? You said goodbye and everything then? Yeah, I remember that evening. Sometimes it feels like it was only yesterday. Cope's level of humiliation continued to raise as he struggled to finally get Baxter back into the loop after so many years. Come on. Baxter. 1 second. I'm saying stuff on the Discord about this. I say this as I play the wedding DLC. And see Cobb be very into Baxter, as like he always was. Okay, cool. Well, me and Curry went to the Poppy Hill after that to hang out, and she proposed to me. I don't actually remember this happening. I'm sure it did, but I don't remember it.
What?
What? The timing of your engagement genuinely stunned Baxter, causing him to drop his normally unflappable poise. He leaned forward enough to take his chair rolled back. Getting engaged the night I was still there? It was dawn when it happened, but yeah, you were still there in the condo. Cobb's reply was still sheepish, almost apologetic, but he said it without hesitation. With an amused shake of his head, Baxter rested back in his seat. You didn't let anything stop you, huh, Curry? I can commend that. You've been engaged a long time. Oh, we're married. Legally, I mean. It's only a ceremony and party with family and everyone that we're here to set up.
Understandable.
Ah, that makes sense. Engaged and married, it's all gone by. I've missed a lot. What? Defenestrate. Oh, beautiful word, I love it. Baxter slipped the pen out of his jacket and tap it against his desk. Much better. Alright.
What?
Back.
What?
You had been able to tell Baxter about it before. You had caught him the next morning before he went back to college, and you stopped hearing from him. Before an uncomfortable silence could form, Baxter offered more words on your relationship. Honestly, I'm happy to see you're still together, but I can't help being a little surprised you haven't gotten married already by now. Oh, we're married. Legally, I mean. It's only a matter of... it's only a ceremony and a party with family and everyone that we're here to set up. Ah, that makes sense. Engaged and married. It's all gone by. I miss so much. Baxter slipped a pen out of his jacket pocket and tapped it against the desk counter at his side. He looked between you and Cobb, satisfied. Considering we were already acquainted, it should make the process that much better. Easier, I think. I'm sure your special day is going to be one to remember. Cobb's uneasy single word was directed towards you. In a whisper, he elaborated on what that was supposed to mean. Are you really going to through with this? Having Baxter plan our wedding? I'd like you to. Ah, yes. Cobb, I would like him to as well. Cobb quietly yelped. It wasn't unreasonable that the person on the other side of the room could hear the conversation, but Cobb had not expected him to answer. I mean, I think I could do it well. I can do it right. And there's very few weddings I'd like to see go off like it's charmed than this one. He spoke in a conciliatory way. Baxter's normal boldness was entirely missing while asking for this chance. You and Cobb faced one another on the couch. The softness in his eyes and the sloping of his brows shared his thoughts without him needing to say a word. He was being swayed. You nodded to your partner. There was a pause, and then Cobb spoke. Okay. While still on the couch, Cobb brought his torso up to its full height and held his head high. The look on his face was determined. Since this is actually the reality that exists now, I've got a question for you, Baxter. Yes? Cope's strong stance began to crumble as he shrunk into himself once more. He's so into Baxter. Is your offer for dance lessons still open? The fucking eyes! Your new planner gasped before quickly settling into laughter with a clap of his hands. Of course, always. That's a relief. I'm probably gonna need them.
I'm here if you need me.
Fuck. I understand completely. I'm here for you. And you as well, Corey. If there's a need. Yep. He's gonna be needed in the bathroom along with Cobe. You're a good dance partner, but it'd be nice to practice with someone. You're a good dancer and they need the help. You were good. Didn't want to dance with... weren't good. Weren't good but didn't want lessons. Nah, it's fine. We're good at this and want to practice with him. Let's do it. Got it. That works for me. Now, he shifted closer in the rolling chair with a glint in his eyes that made him look like the teen he used to be. Let's roll up our sleeves and get into the details, which I don't mean literally. No need to crumple my jacket, but I am going to have to ask you quite a few questions. I'm ready. Hit us with your best shot. To start with, what's your surname? Did it change after marriage? Nope, I still use Holden and Kurt still uses McClan. Good to know, nothing wrong with that. And what about titles in the wedding? Bride, groom, it can be whichever you like, honestly. Can I be a groom?
Of course.
Of course, it's your day. He's the groom, I'm the bride. Wonderful. Bride and a groom for the couple of the wedding. Baxter flipped open a notebook on the desk. Can I get an idea of scale? Only an estimate, of course. It doesn't have to be a complete guest list. And even if it was, you never know how many of those invites will accept the RSVPs. Don't stress too much over who's going to be in attendance. Oh. Kobe stepped off the cloud nine he had been hovering in since the start of the conversation and planted himself back firmly on the purple couch in Baxter's office. For sure there's gonna be your parents, 4 of them, Corey's sister and her uncle, aunt, and I'm sorry. I've never met this aunt and uncle. We've met the cousin, of course. Lee is great. We love Lee in this household. We stand Lee in this household. But aunt and uncle, never. Some grandparents should be there, but not all of them. We'll have our friends Miranda, Terry, and Derek. You're still friends with Miranda and Terry? That is wonderful. Yeah. You nodded agreeingly as Cole filled Baxtering. That's right, but also I was wondering if we could invite Jeremy. Okay. Hey. That's right, but also I was wondering if you could invite Jeremy. Cope laughed with his whole heart. We can try, but I kind of don't think he'll show up. Okay. But yeah, no, it's fine. It's awkward, but yeah. Alright, we can try, but I kind of don't think he'll show up. Baxter's eyes shifted from your face to Cope's and back again. It was sharp. He was trying to read the room. A coworker of yours?
No.
No. We met him as teens, barely. We were like 13 and he was a little younger. He was horrible, mean and angry and unreasonable. But thanks to Shiloh, of all people, another guy we know, We met him again years later. It turns out Jeremy's okay now. More bristly than hostile. I got kind of attached even though we're not friends because Jeremy is the kind of guy who won't describe anyone as a friend. Except for Pran. You ended both Co's explanation with him and had matching smiles with him to boot. Jeremy's great. I can't believe he grew on me. I'd definitely be entertaining to have him there. Having him at 10 would make him annoyed, and that's the goal. Oh god, this is amazing. True. 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 I'm sorry, where's all of the above? Where is all of the above? This needs an all of the above. Having to attend would make him annoyed, and that's the goal. You get some interesting relationships. I'll put it down and we can certainly send an invitation, okay? Entertaining. Same. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll put it down and we can certainly send an invitation when the time comes. It'll be up to Jeremy to decide what to do with the offer. Who else? You and Cove continue to come up with family members, friends, professional relations, and the like to make an estimated size of the wedding. All the while, Baxter jotted down the information like an attentive student sitting at the front of the class. And of those who you most want and expect to be there, would any of them make up wedding parties? Or is everyone a normal guest? Right. We hadn't picked exactly who'd be in it yet, but we are having wedding parties. Of course. Let's discuss this with who now? Them? It can be an equal split between the both of you. But it's not a rule. If one of you has a bigger wedding party than the other, it's completely fine. It's all about the two of you, so you can do as you please. Rapidly, Co offered his first thoughts on the matter. I don't know, maybe it's embarrassing or even sort of dumb, but as great as my friends are, the person I want to be there as my best man is my father. My dad. It's not dumb at all. He's gonna be so happy to hear that. Perfect choice. Come a long way. Simply nodded. We can offer him $20. We can offer him $20. Oh my god. Perfect, that'll work for sure. Having that close of a relationship with your father is a beautiful thing.
What do you think?
Corey, do you know who will be the lead of your wedding party? And the title isn't important. Best man, best woman, or best person, maid, man, or individual of honor. It's all fine. Pamela, Noelani, Liz, Lee, Terry, Miranda, Derek, Kira. Oh, Kira. That's a bold choice. Miranda, Derek, Terry, Kira. Maid of honor. Well, annual. Interesting. Okay. Not actually going to go with Kira. I just wanted to see what they would say. Sister or cousin, guys? Okay. The voices in my head and I have arrived at the consensus that Lee would be the best. So I'm gonna go with Lee as my Maid of honor, best woman. I think she would like to be a maid of honor. Very well. Anyone else in the parties? Well, I'm good. Well, I'm good with whichever friends and family being in my party, but I kind of want the size of things to be sort of close. Everybody would probably be in Corey's party if there wasn't more of a split, so if that's okay, there'd probably be 3 or 4 in the parties at most. Wow, Cove! Have some more self-worth, dude, come on! You're cool, people like you. Tara would absolutely be in your side over mine. And she might drag Miranda with her. And I was gonna say, there's a not inconsiderable chance that Liz would go to his just to fuck with him. But I don't think she would ever forego our party just to fuck with him. So everybody would probably be in Corey's party if there wasn't more of a split. So if that's okay, there'd probably be 3 or 4 in the parties at most. Makes sense. Everyone else, I don't want that many anyways. Makes sense. Great. For your own party, choose. I was gonna be like, hey, where's Lee? But then I'm like, oh, Lee is the maid of honor. Of she doesn't need to be. She doesn't need to be mentioned. She sort of has to be there. Terry, Miranda, Derek. Okay, I want Kira. I want Kira for the bridal party. The moms, of course. Liz. Oh, we... Shit. Okay. For your own party, you choose Pamela, Nalani, Liz. I'm sorry, Miranda, but... Holy shit. Why is this... Why is that such a tempting title? It's like we're pirates. Why is crewmates so tempting? Why does that title make me feel like a pirate? Then my party's gonna be Terry, Miranda, and Derek. And with that, you successfully mapped out the members of your wedding parties. Perfect. I'll make notes. That statement was made extra clear by the clicking noise of Baxter keenly tapping his pen on the armrest.
So,
on the topic of guests and that sort, are you open to attendees giving speeches during the reception? We can make it so only select people are arranged to say some words about the couple, or have a mic open for anyone interested in taking it, or discreetly circumvent anyone from gathering the attention in order to talk. Okay. I'm good with anyone, actually.
yeah.
I'm okay with that too. People are gonna tease us whether it's in the speech or not. Yes. My only regret is that Liv is not gonna be there, so I can make a joke about the $20. Good. He continued along casually, accepting all your input. And are you thinking of writing anything yourselves for custom vows? Just remember, it's an option, not an obligation. There's no pressure to make a custom declaration if you're not comfortable with it. Oh. Normal ceremony. I had my custom vows in mind. Are you okay with that, Cove?
Of course.
Of course, there's a lot I could say, and I'm gonna be really nervous either way. Cove's eyes squinted up from his cheeks as he smiled at you sweetly. You are feeling butterflies already, and the vows hadn't even been said.
Lovely.
Fuck. Baxter's voice is just magic. Lovely, just lovely. And that is highly personal, so you each can work on them privately, outside of our appointments. Baxter relaxed back into his chair and looked at you, looked you both over. His smile curved widely. It was a look that made Cove nervous. You could feel him begin to fidget uncomfortably at your side. Let's talk a little more about traditions and wedding norms.
To be honest,
We're all friends here, so I'll be frank. If one of you sincerely asks not to get splattered with cake, or whatever else, and the other does exactly the opposite simply because they think it's funny, I will personally see to it that your marriage ends. If you can treat your partner and their boundaries with respect on your own wedding day, you don't deserve them as your spouse. Now, I sincerely doubt that's going to be a problem with you two, but it's an occupational hazard.
in that case,
With that said, do you have any requests pertaining to either the ceremony or the reception? We can arrange for anything special that you do want included. Well, I definitely don't want anything to happen with the cake. It should just be for eating. Yes. Yes. Please. It's food. Don't waste food. Especially do not waste luxury food. Because it's a cake. Not only is it a cake, it's a wedding cake. It's like double luxury food. Don't. Can smear me with cake. Okay? I've seen some wedding pictures with the bride splattered with cake. Right? And it ends up being just the frosting that stays on the bride's face the most. And I'm sorry, but when I see those photos, my brain thinks, you know, money shot to the face. If you get what I mean. A soft smile tugged at the corner of Cope's lips. He nodded in agreement.
Sure.
Whatever tradition or not, I'd rather eat it too. No complaints here. Very well. Baxter clapped his hands together, pleased with the direction of the conversation. That's another important detail done. We should discuss who you'd like to officiate the ceremony next.
I can do that.
I can arrange for a standard justice of the peace to be either, but if there's a pastor, minister, rabbi, judge, or anyone else that you have in mind, please send me their contact information. Be a Jedi. Be Jedi. The flying spaghetti monster is also nice. And the Church of Satan is always a riot. Damn, so many choices. I can arrange first. Oh, yeah. Preferably right away. I can work things out with them, so we're all set for the ceremony. Unsure of what to say, Cove glanced over at you. He scratched his cheek contemplatively. I don't mind having justice of the peace, religious figure.
Right.
Let's go with whatever you want. Wonderful, text me their info. Oh, you want? Okay. I don't mind whatever.
Right.
Me neither. He shrugged, glancing over at you to make sure a simple justice of the peace was all you needed. Wonderful. I'll get that in motion right away.
Very well.
Now, have either of you considered how you want to arrive to the ceremony? Will one come in first and then the other come down the aisle? Or perhaps you both want to enter together? Huh. I'd love to see Cope come down the aisle. Oh. Okay. What are you thinking, Cove? He closed his mouth, thinking over the question, his eyebrows pinched together as he imagined the various possibilities. Would you want to do it together? Your grin widened. You thought the idea sounded excellent. Don't be surprised if I hang on too tight. But yeah, Cove, I love that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Exhaling his tension away, Cove closed his eyes. A weak laugh rattled through him. I think I can handle the distance without my legs giving out from under me, especially if we're doing it together. Everything's gonna be okay, I believe in you. I'm so happy. His features softened with affection. You knew most of your friends were concerned about Cove staying upright during the ceremony, but you had a feeling that he wasn't going to be the only one in danger. Cove was going to be just as vital in keeping you on your feet. Me too. Cove's face was a shade pinker from the conversation, but he was pleased with what you both settled on. You were too. That sounds lovely. Baxter clicked his pen before dropping his attention to his paperwork. He glanced back up, giving you his full attention.
Does that sound
Oh,
right?
and are you intending to exchange wedding bands? It is possible to skip that. Yeah, we've got rings.
Of course.
Of course, we can easily save a moment for that in your ceremony. And a small reminder, couples generally take off engagement rings before the ceremony to wear just a wedding band during the wedding. Thanks. You couldn't help picturing the matching wedding bands you had both gotten together. They were gold, rose gold, silver, platinum, black. Can we do palladium? Yeah, you just for it to be a little. No, okay. My Sunivio heart is telling me black. Let's go platinum. And V-shaped band with jewels, jewel band, round band. What is it? A V-shaped band ring. Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. With jewels. The stones you'd both decided on were white diamonds, black diamonds? What? Oh. Huh. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, let's go black diamonds. They were incredible. But before you completely lost focus, Baxter spoke again. So, do either of you want a bouquet? A small chuckle fell from Cope's lopsided grin, but Baxter was serious and waited attentively. When Cope realized that, he shrugged. I like flowers, I don't need a whole bouquet. Don't be shy, you should have one, Cope. Shit stirrer. Seriously? The word punched out of him in a... Okay. And his cheeks keep burning a deep red. You more than like flowers, and it's your wedding. It's... I'm not gonna go with it. It feels odd to push it. But hey, yeah, sure. The shape and color of it hadn't fully formed yet in your thoughts, but part of you could already feel the weight of the flowers in your hand. A satisfied smile tugged at the corners of your mouth. Excellent choice. Let's discuss what it looked like then. He leaned forward and interlaced his fingers together on the table. Excited, you glanced at Cope, and he gave you a supportive thumbs up in return. Would you mind if I had white poppies? If it had white poppies. No, it needs those. Since The instant Baxter brought up flowers, you had been positive Cope was going to ask for those. Are there any others that you want highlighted? Let's go with roses. White poppies and roses is quite a combo, just like the two of you. With that decided, Baxter picked up his pen up again and took note of your specifications. He subtly nodded as he wrote, "Well, since you're having... Shit. I have to. Black roses. Oh. So not capitalized. Okay. There we go. White poppies and black roses, that's quite a combo, just like the two of you. Yes, please. With that decided, Baxter picked his pen up again and took note of your specifications. He subtly nodded as he wrote, "Well, since you're having that, this means that you have both the option of a bouquet toss during the reception." That kind of sounds fun. What do you think, Corey? Abso-fucking-lutely, yes. Gotta do it. Cove's grin curled excitedly. Baxter's gaze lifted from his notes. Marvelous. That's about all of the basics sorted out, but we still have time to talk about the ceremony itself. There's bows, but from there you can personalize it with more rituals and such. If there's any particular tradition that you like to have, you're welcome to let me know.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have things I need. I'm not very traditional. I just want it to be whatever Corey hopes for.
Charming.
Charming. Corey. God, Baxter's voice. I'd like to jump the broom. Okay. That's certainly a choice. I don't know what a sand pouring ritual is. I don't know what a floral garland exchange is, though from the name I can guess. What is a blanket ceremony. Native American tradition symbolizing a milestone in one's life. Rather than walking across the stage, taking a diploma. Okay. Okay, alright. Sounds cool. Breaking of the glass? No, don't waste shit. I like the idea of hand fasting ritual. Interlacing your fingers together in your lap, you paused while Baxter scribbled. Beautiful. We can make arrangements for that. Anything else? That's good. Content with your wishes, Cope nodded agreeingly. I don't like agreeingly. Agreeably? I'll have to think about it. Very well. So that's the ceremony. Now, any reception venue you choose will be large enough to have room for casual dancing throughout the evening, but I need to know if we should schedule for any particular kinds of dance, such as a first dance between only you and Cove at the start, for example. Both of you turned to each other curiously. A deep red blush crept across his cheeks, and when he felt overwhelmed, Cove's gaze dropped to the floor.
Well...
I will, only if you're good with it. I would want to have a first dance. Hit me. I also want to do a first dance. Second. Cope perked up at your answer. Despite still feeling nervous, he had an eager shimmy in his seat. You beamed, overjoyed with the idea of your first dance together as a married couple. I've had dances with your own parents, each other's parents. Money dance. What is a money dance? Alright, Google. What is a money dance? As we... I was gonna say something, but that would be accurate. That would not be accurate. I would say it would make me feel weird to ask people to give me money like that. But that's just me and my own issues. Magazine subscriptions, if you will. Alright, let's go with this. Arms were the only ones you wanted to be in. A thrilling tingle crept up your spine, making you feel restless. You eagerly wanted to leap into the future already. All I need is that dance with Cove. Cove struggled to find his voice. Oh, Cory, you're all I need too. Then it's settled. Baxter continued to keep track of details by jotting it down on paper. He kept up with the pace of the conversation with words and writing easily. Oh, and speaking of the ceremony and reception, that's my area of expertise. If you're going on a honeymoon afterwards, that'll be something I'd recommend perhaps a travel agent for, or honestly, arranging between only you two without any middlemen. Cove didn't blink at the caveat. We'll handle that. While we're here, it's just about the day off. I get it. Fantastic. Now back to the wedding. Do you have a sense of style you're aiming for? Is it formal? Casual? Do you have a particular color you want the wedding party to wear? Are the clothes for the couple meant to be a surprise for the ceremony, or do you prefer picking that out together? I'm not sure, and also what about hair? I can let my hair down so it could be fancier. Though if that's not important, I can keep it the same. What do you think, Cory? That's a good question. You considered the series of inquiries and responded by saying, something between formal and casual. Let's see what Cove thinks. Kind of in the middle? Alright. Made for each other. Perfect. Okay. Party wears blue, yellow, green, purple, pink, red. Thank you. Sounds good. Also, hey Voku, welcome back. It's good to see you. I don't care if the clothes are a secret or not, it's not a big deal either way. Could we have it be a surprise? I think that'd be a kind of nice. That's definitely fine, Cove. Thanks. I would like if yours was more of a full suit set though. You were sure Cove would look great no matter what he picked. And Cove, it'd be wonderful to see you with a fancier hairstyle. Do whatever you want with your hairstyle. Really? I do not understand that, but I will trust that you know what you're saying, so thank you. Alright. Okay, I'll figure it out. Excellent work. I know this has all been a lot of Q&A. There's much to consider for this big of an event. Then Baxter's pen was placed back into the pocket it had come from. He ran his now free hands along the smooth-side edges of his jacket. Thank you two for being so forthcoming. I've got a strong idea of where this is going now. I'm already looking forward to the next meeting when we can truly get into specificities. That's everything? We're leaving? Yeah. Yes, you can go. Or you can stay if you want. That's the end of the actual session. But I'm not throwing you out. That's alright. Bye. Cove awkwardly waved Baxter off despite still being seated and not going anywhere yet. He had gotten so into the discussion of the wedding he'd forgotten his usual stiffness around Baxter for a time. But that spell broke. See, this is part of why I say that I looked over at the chat, I saw your name, Boku, and thank you. But what I was gonna say, Cove, this is why I say that Cove is into Baxter. And he's just repressed. Or like in denial, as it were. Right? Because he's acting like he's got a crush on him. Baxter accepted the answer and pushed off the armrest of his chair to stand up straight. You and Cove followed his motion, getting up out of your own seats together. The wedding planner took one stride closer to the center of the room and reached out his hand toward you. You shook it, friendly nudge, fist bump, shook your head. Hug. He smirked, letting you wrap yourself around him. He patted your back rather than giving a complete hug himself, but he liked your version of farewell interaction just fine. Bye. It's great that you're Baxter. Have a good day. I'm expecting special treatment since we're such great friends, you joked.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for today, Corey. I'm glad to have seen you.
Goodbye.
And work too hard. Wait, goodbye. It's great that you're Baxter. Wait. He snorted loudly, highly entertained. Right. He likes a joke.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for today, Corey. I'm glad to have seen you. Then he offered the same gesture to Cove. Your partner accepted it casually, giving Baxter's hand a solid shake. Take care, Baxter. Thanks, and same to you. You've got a wedding to be ready for. Don't forget to look out for yourself and your fiancé. I'll remember. The two men released the other's hands, settling the agreement to take this chance and put a new foot forward in their new relationship. With that, the two of you found your way out of the office building. The pop and subsequent click from the opening and closing of the car doors played out in sync between you and Cove. As he buckled in for the ride back, he commented on the experience. The sentence was hesitant and had an upward bent that made it sound like a question. So that went well? But funny story, when I started to train, as it were, for my first teaching job, I had never before we got to the part where we had to learn and explain that little bit, right? The sentence was hesitant and had an upward bent that made it sound like a question, so that's the intonation for it. So that went well. Your voice rises, right, in intonation, and when I started training for this, I didn't get it. I couldn't understand it. Apparently my voice was such a monotone in parts that I didn't even realize that I wasn't doing anything new when trying to make that rising intonation for the question. It took me a long time to get the hang of it. But yeah, that's interesting. I suppose maybe something more like this, talking like this, that went well. Before you could respond to the not exactly a state, blah blah blah, right? Which is how I talk a little sometimes. But yeah. Before you could respond to the not exactly a question statement, Cove continued on with a new actual question. I mean, we got Baxter Ward as our planner somehow, but he seems good at what he does, right? He put his hands on the wheel and peeked at you through the reflection in the overhead mirror. Right, Baxter will do wonderfully. I just hope he doesn't suggest a monochrome color scheme. Absolutely the guy for the job, I don't know. As long as he's grown out of hitting on both of us, it should be fine. No! No, he should never do that. He should do that even harder now. You know? Enter the relationship, as it were. Okay. He's absolutely the guy for the job. You're right. Cove had pulled out of the parking lot as he spoke. The wheels rumbled easily down the newly developed city street of the area. But that was the end of Cove's attempt at a conversation making. He went entirely quiet. The pensive look on his face didn't allow you to relax into a normal, comfortable silence. Cove, what's up? His mood easily lifted back up at the sound of his name. Forgetting all the Baxter stuff, I'm just really happy we're married. Sometimes I still can't believe we're even together. And then it just hits me that we're seriously married. It's incredible. And it never stops feeling like that. I don't think I'll ever be used to it, not really. Love you. I feel the same way about it. It's like living an incredible dream. You put your hand on his shoulder. You feel relieved he was okay and settled in. It's like living an incredible dream. His cheeks flushed at his eyes from the size of his green. Oh. His cheeks squished at his eyes from the size of his grin. Nothing could stop him from looking forward to the upcoming occasion. Finally, the lack of words felt right between the two of you. You took the chance to let the day sink in as best you could. Okay. After all the years you'd known Cove, you now were going to have a wedding with him. The scenery slipped by faster than your eyes could keep up with as you got further and further into your own thoughts. Okay, so, small detail. If the scenery is going so fast that you can't keep up with your eyes, you're going too fast. Slow down. Right? You're going way too fast. Slow down, or you're going to crash. Possibly. Right? So yeah, don't drive that fast. If your eyes can't keep up with the motion of the car movement, slow down. There's nothing worth that danger. Then suddenly the day had ended and you were drifting off to sleep in Cove's arms. I choose to believe that we went to sleep in Cove's arms after a very enjoyable what's the word? Session of cardio. Yeah. It was early afternoon when you stopped outside, breathing in the good weather. The gentle breeze warmed your skin while you waited for Cove. He wasn't far behind, but there was still a serene moment to watch the puffy white clouds move across the sky. You were grateful for that because the second you both hopped into Cove's car, your brain was filled to the brim with wedding planning once again. Before you could progress any further, you needed to cross one of the most important details of the list: officially putting the wedding party together. This was the goal for today. Despite the nervous energy fluttering in your stomach, you were already anticipating the stops and phone calls planned. Peeking over at Cove, you hoped he was as well.
Are you okay?
Are you doing alright, Corey? I have high hopes for today, and that's scary. But otherwise, I'm okay. What about you? Cove turned away while his eyebrows pinched together. His grip on the steering wheel tightened briefly before he made himself relax the stiffness in his pose. Tense, but good. Better than good, really. I'm excited. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see their reactions. Every time you imagine the conversations you'd have today, they all boil down to the same feeling: joy. The people you picked were all important figures in your lives, and you just couldn't wait to see how they'd take the news. Cove nodded and added a happy hum in response. And with that, you're on the road home. Naturally, Cove navigated the car towards the old neighborhood. It was soothing, winding down the familiar paths of your childhood. You spent so many years expanding your world little by little on foot, and then by car. The older you grew, the further you went, but there was always a place back there for you. Cove parked his car on the upper end of the street. Side by side, you headed out, aiming for his dad's condo. Your first visit for the day, Cobb wanted to ask his father to be his best man, and you'd be there for him. Cobb's nearly outstretched hand was halfway to that doorknob when he paused uncharacteristically. Actually, I'm gonna knock. What? Oh, doorknob. What? Why now all of a sudden? Because this is serious business. And he'll be so happy to see us that he won't see the real surprise coming. Wow, I think he'll love that. Yeah. The warmth intensified in Cobb's expression. His hand changed direction and he gave the door 2 firm knocks. It didn't take Mr. Holden long to answer the door. His initial shock quickly melted into a cheery grin.
Come on.
Hey, come in, come in. Hey, Harold, welcome back. Knock that door, boy. Yes. Good to see you again, I think. Vampire the Masquerade, right? His attention bounced back and forth between you and Cove as he moved aside to let you stroll on in. Hey, Dad, how are you? I'm great, sport. Cool. Well, Cope stalled, bashfully starting down on his feet and rubbing the back of his neck. You knew just how important this was to him. He took a deep breath and didn't wilt under his dad's growing concern. So, Corey and I were talking about the wedding, and I realized that I needed to ask you about something. I'm all ears, son. Whatever you need, I'm your guy. Wait, I'm always a pleasure, you know that? Yes, you are. Cove swallowed nervously and nodded. Then the corners of his mouth started to perk up. I was wondering if you might be alright being my best man in the wedding party? Mr. Holden slammed a hand to his chest, clutching his heart, and then he died out of a heart attack. Okay, no, but it would be fucking tragic if that was what happened. You waited for any kind of sign of life. A part of you wasn't even sure if he was breathing until he finally gasped in a lungful of air. Cope,
you sure?
you don't have to do that. Cope's brows went up, but his delicate smile grew wider. Nobody's forcing me. This is what I want. That you've always supported me, though the good and the bad, through the good and the bad. For my whole life, you've taken care of me. His expression was earnest as he stepped forward. Your chest swelled with pride, listening to Cove's honest plea. Why would I want anyone else to be my best man? So, generally speaking, we don't use somebody when asking a question. We won't use anybody. Technically speaking, it's incorrect to use somebody, but it's whatever, right? A lot of people do it anyway. But you're supposed to use anybody when asking a question with an indefinite pronoun. Completely touched, Mr. Holden grasped his son by the shoulders and then wrapped him in a hug. Cove embraced him just as tightly and rested a cheek on his dad. There's nothing in this world that would stop me from being there for my boy. Thanks, Dad. Sniffling, Cove's voice came out softly and laden with emotion. With teary eyes, Cliff invitingly reached an arm out to you. I don't like adverbs. Right? It's better to write it. Cliff reached an arm out to you in invitation. Some time ago, I've read, or maybe had a professor tell me, or whatever, I don't actually remember. It's been a while. That using adverbs, overusing adverbs rather, is a sign of lack of confidence in your own writing ability, right? That if you're having to use an adverb like invitingly, it means that you're not confident that your ability to write something will convey the emotions and feelings that you want it to without having to specifically point it out, spell it out, right? So Cliff reached out an arm out to you, an invitation. Better. You joined them. The simple invitation instantly had your vision clouded with tears. The Holdens felt like family to you. Technically speaking, they are already family. You're married already, legally speaking. And right now, it really settled in how much all of you were now, without question, family. Inching forward, you let yourself be pulled into their loving embrace. You clung onto them both. Finally, Cliff pulled back, letting his shaking form settle again. Well, I'm sure you're both busy, so I won't keep you. Mr. Holden crossed his arms. Despite the misty eyes, he beamed, taking in the sight of you and Cove. But I really appreciate you both coming by. And I'm around if either of you ever need anything. Thanks. And yeah, we need to invite the rest of the wedding party before we see the wedding planner later. You're our very first stop today. Mr. Holden managed to brighten even more hearing that. Cove shyly nodded and rubbed his arm.
Nice work.
Very good. You're being so responsible. I won't hold you up on your way. Thanks. Again. I guess we're on the next stop? On to the next stop. Okay. You glanced over at Cove. He nodded surely, and you felt a calming surge of confidence. He nodded surely. You don't need this. Like at all. You really don't. He glanced over at Cove. He nodded and you felt a calming surge of confidence. There you go. Because calming surge of confidence, you already know that him nodding is decisive or comforting or good in general, right? You are gilding the lily, as it were. Doing too much. Have fun spreading the good news. We will. Bye, Dad. See you soon. The sun was warm on your skin as you left Mr. Holden's house. Stretching your arms overhead, you pivoted to Cove, feeling refreshed. Ready?
Come on.
Yeah, let's go. Your lips twisted into a teasing grin. Cove arched an eyebrow. You think we'll need to hike back to the car for this perilous trek? Across the street? It's a dangerous journey, I'm told. Cove snorted and shook his head. The effort he was exerting not to laugh made you snicker. You couldn't have been more pleased with your life. Stepping up to the condo, you rang the doorbell and waited. The longer you stood there, the stranger you felt. Because this still felt like your own door. The expression on your face pinched together oddly, but it was short-lived as your ma swung the door open and validated your thoughts. Hello. Oh, sweeties, welcome home. She eagerly ushered you both inside towards the living room. Ma then went over to the hall and cupped a hand to the side of her mouth to be heard in the other room. Ham, come see your guests. Mom curiously peeked out the bedroom door. When she realized who it was, she beamed and gave you a little wave. Hey, kiddos. Hi. Hi, I missed you both. Your mom's expression softened. Mom joined you all in the living room, standing alongside Ma. What can we do for you today? We've been working on some wedding preparations, and we were hoping to include you in that.
Oh.
I wonder what that could mean. Ma raised an amused eyebrow and then turned to Mom. Shyly, Cove glanced at you, wordlessly asking for you to take the lead here. Mom and Ma, would either of you want to be part of her wedding? Cove and I were hoping that Mom would be a wedding crewmate. Fucking wedding crewmate, I forgot about that. Oh god. It makes me feel like we're a pirate. They gave me a choice. Like bridesmaids, groomsmen, whatever. Or crewmates, and I'm sorry, but crewmate. Crewmates, we're pirates now. Ow. Mom would be a wedding crewmate, and Ma would also be a wedding crewmate for me. So I'm pretty sure this is the result of the multiple choice thing here and how it works. that we have the this sentence structure the way it is, because ideally you would want it to be, Cove and I were hoping that you both would be wedding crewmates for me, right? Simplifies the sentence. You make it much shorter and much more simple.
Of course.
Of course. Ma excitedly looked from you to Mom, and then back again. She was thrilled. If you want me as a wedding crewmate, then I will be. Incomplete. This sentence is incomplete. You cannot use will be like that. You need one. I will be one. I will be needs an object. I will be loud. I will be gigantic. I will be that. Or I would be one. You need an object here. All I want is to be there for my wonderful child's very special day. Mom stood forward and put her hands on her hips. She beamed proudly. You bet, Corey. Whatever you need. Because out of all my kids, you're tied for first place. Alright, that's funny. You shook your head, maintaining eye contact and pressing your lips into a fine line that only sent your mom into louder giggles, amused with her own joke. Teasing aside, Corey, you've made me very happy. A small relieved sigh took away the remaining worries twisted in your gut. That went even better than you thought it would. A silly sweet grin spread ear to ear in Mom as she swayed gently where she stood. She peeked at Ma. I can't believe it. I'm in the same party as Noelani. That's so exciting. Oh, hello, miss. It's so nice to see you here. How long have you been at this lovely party? Ma placed a hand over her heart as she spoke. They put out her pink cheeks from laughter, pretending they're hanging out together at an actual event. They're silly. I love them. I fucking love them. Everything was so much sweeter knowing that your moms were thoroughly enjoying this. Spying on Cove out of the corner of your eye, you caught the fondness he exuded watching you in return. He seemed just as pleased with your mom's reactions.
In that case,
Okay, well, we'll let the two of you go about with the rest of your planning. Thank you so much for surprising us with this. Ma brushed back her hair. I'm pretty sure it's Ma brushed her hair back. Yeah, that's how it goes. Observing you both affectionately, Mom nodded in agreement. You've got a lot to do, but I'm sure you'll be able to hack it. Hack it? Resting on Evra, you put your hands on your hips. Cove grinned, already amused with where your train of thought was going. We're gonna knock it out of the park with flying colors. We're gonna put together the best wedding anyone has ever seen. You know what, Curry? I believe you. You're always amazing. Yes, we are, aren't we? Thanks. We'll be back around soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it so much. The tips of Cove's ears were red, but he did his best to be unruffled under your mom's stares. He nodded with a warm smile. Bye. Goodbye. See you around. After that, your moms walked you to the door. You and Cove stepped out into the neighborhood, ready to tackle the next task on your to-do list. With one last glance around the neighborhood, you suddenly said goodbye. There was so much more to do today, and that would require hitting the road again. Humming to yourself, you watched Cove bring the car towards the city. Your next visit would be a meetup with Terry and Miranda in the neck of the woods. You couldn't wait. You did tell them in advance that the wedding planning was bringing you and Cove out that way, so your friends were expecting you today. But as far as you knew, they didn't have any idea what you were preparing to ask. Pulling into the parking lot along the street, Cove was in high spirits. He eagerly hopped out of the car, and you caught up to him with light steps. You weren't that far away from the car when you heard a familiar friendly shout survive. You spotted Terry and Miranda running along the brick path to meet you in Cove halfway.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddies, indeed. Ah, it's so good to see you. Randy, Terry. You darted over in their direction. Chuckling, it was Cope's turn to hurry back to your side. He gave your friends a wide wave when he caught up. I miss you too. Hey, thanks for coming down. Curry and I have something to talk to you about, and it's really nice to be able to do it in person. Neither of them dared to interrupt, but Terry and Miranda did share a silent look. They both seemed eager to know the details. Terry, could you be a groomsman in my wedding party?
Finally!
Yes, I made the cut. Thrilled, he threw a satisfied fist in the air. Terry's grin stretched ear to ear. I think that's a good sign. We did a good job deciding the parties. Teasingly, you continue to scrutinize your friends, and Terry crossed his arms defensively. My groomsman, and you can't take it back. It's set in stone.
I mean...
We could take it back. No. Cope snickered, leaning toward you. And then Cope's attention moved to Randy. He watched her eagerly in anticipation. Miranda, it'd be great if you could be a groomswoman in my party. Her eyes darted from Cope to you to Terry and then back to Cove again before she believed that this was all actually happening.
Thanks.
Yes, I accept. Thank you so much. That would be wonderful. Terry cheered again, pulling Miranda in for a one-arm side hug. Cope put a hand to his side and let out a small sigh of relief. Yo, Team Cove. Yeah, Team Cove forever.
Hey!
Hey, Curry's party is just as good. I'm marrying Curry, remember? We like her. Okay. That's great. 1 to 10 is better than Cove's. My party's... Excuse me? Minter burst into laughter at your remark. Meanwhile, you wrinkle your nose until Cove smiled. Okay. Shake your head. Put them together in the same party was a mistake. You tried to put a serious look in your face. Cove nodded, playing along with your teasing. You might be right. I'm sorry, we're not making you reconsider already. The sincerity in her voice made you drop the act instantly. You caved and held your hands up in surrender. Nope. Good. Okay. Go Team Corey. You cheerily moved your hand like you were waving a flag. That got a hearty laugh out of both Terry and Miranda. Team Corey and Cove's waiting forever. Go Team Cove. You cheerily moved your hands like you were waving a flag. That got a hearty laugh out of both Terry and Miranda. Team Corey and Cove's waiting forever. Terry put his hands on his hips and nodded sagely.
Agreed.
That's a truth, Randy. Seriously, thanks for this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super nice to include us in the wedding parties. Of course. We couldn't imagine the wedding any other way. Thanks for meeting with us today. It's nothing, but you'll probably have to get going now, huh? Yeah, we have a meeting with the wedding planner pretty soon. The Baxman. With a curt shake of the head, Cove rolled his eyes, completely unamused. Miranda's brows furrowed. Wait, I thought you were joking when you mentioned that. Is he really planning your wedding? Look at her face. I love it. Yes. Wow. Oh, wow. I remember when we were all here watching Free Range Fireworks and how you two are getting married and Baxter is the one planning it. Preposterous. A little bit, actually. Also, Free Range Fireworks. I love that word. That is a good word. Not a word. Phrase. Expression. Whatever. It's definitely something. But that's what we're doing, and we're gonna go do it now. Cope awkwardly rubbed his arm. Understanding, Terry gave him a thumbs up. Cope, just ask Baxter to fuck you already, okay? Get it out of your system. Then, make it a three-way. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Safe travels. Bye. Have fun. Next time you see us, we'll have more wedding planning, so be ready. Bye. Terry and Miranda remained on the walkway while you and Cove returned to the car. When you were alone again, you spoke up. That was good. Yeah. He wasn't facing you, but you could still admire the happy curve of his lips. It was nice to visit your friends for a little while, and it was even better to have another thing set up for the big day. With a determined stare, Cove pulled his phone out and plugged Baxter's office into the GPS map. Once it was all set, You put the car in drive and you both were on your way once more. I'm pretty sure it's you were both, not both were. While Cope drove, you pulled your phone out and scrolled through your contacts list. The rest of this task will have to be done long distance, so you turned the speaker up and made the call. Dialing up your sister, you set the phone on speaker. You were already expecting the inevitable jokes you'd have of her non-sleeves. Hello, Corey. What do you need to inform me of? How do you too, Liz? Oh, hi, Cove. This is gonna be good. Liz's intrigued tone became teasing, realizing she was on speaker. I guess you can't even pretend to have a normal conversation first.
No.
Nope. I love Liz. I love her. You're planning a wedding. You have to have something in the works by now. You could tell by the way Cobb quietly took a deep breath that he was conflicted. In your gut, you knew he wanted to admonish her and shake his head, but she wouldn't see that. It's always nice to talk to you, Liz. Fine, let's get to the chase. She's right. So glad she's in the ball. You laughed. Let's see. Was a woman on a mission, and in her eagerness, you knew that she was already ready to fight for anything you truly wanted, and... Okay. You rolled your eyes. We greatly appreciate the solidarity. Hello, still there. We haven't forgotten. Good. And... Okay. She's right. Cove exhaled loud enough for Liz to hear. You could easily imagine the utter delight on her face. Good reaction. It's always nice to talk to you. I know, I'm delightful. I fucking love Liz. She's just like me, for real, for real. Let's get to the chase. Good choice. She's right. Okay. I'm so glad my big sister's on the ball. So you do have wedding news to share. And Cove and I were hoping that it would be a wedding crewmate for me. I knew it. The only reason you both would be calling like this would be to us something like that. Is it me? Maybe it's just me, but I kind of think that for a like a wedding party, like a bachelorette party, that you wouldn't really call the people together. No, wait, no, this isn't. I'm confused. Whatever. Yeah, you're very clever for cracking the case. That's correct. It makes sense. And of course, you'd request me to be involved with the wedding. Liz cracked up over the line. She needed some time to collect herself, but when she did, she spoke much more earnestly this time.
Thank you.
But that aside, honestly, I'd love to be your wedding crewmate. Thank you so much for having me. The ship is the Thousand Sunny. Wait, what's the other one? The Going Merry. Going Merry versus Thousand Sunny. Going Merry. The ship is the Going Merry. Welcome aboard the Going Merry. Liz? Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I wish we could have done this in person. Thanks, Liz. I know, I won't let you down, little sister. I'm glad that you're gonna be part of this too, Liz. It's not natural that you would be. You've been there all along. For better and worse. Mostly worse.
Rude.
At least according to Cove. Rude, but fair. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Cool, we gotta go and do more wedding things. Talk to you later. Keep me updated. Bye. Bye, Liz. And with that, you could happily check another box of your to-do list. That was another invitation. And sent and accepted. Thank you. Taking a deep breath, you pulled up the contact for the next person on your mind. You hit the call button and waited. Eagerly, you waited for your... Too much waited too soon. Don't do that. Eagerly, you... Ah, tough. You waited, you... Listen, you... I'll think about it. You probably have to reword the sentence. I suppose you could say you awaited your cousin picking up the call. Awkward. But this is not weighted, it's awaited, which I know, kind of the same thing, but it's different enough that it's not technically repetition. Cove noticed out of the corner of his eye that you positioned the phone a little further away than normal. He nodded in agreement with the decision. Ah, Lee. It's going to be Lee. If you're positioning the phone further away, it's because the person you're calling is going to scream. And the person who screams, this is Lee.
Hi.
Fucking called it. Called it. Called it. Ha ha ha. Hey Corey, how's the wedding planning going? Any news? Here we go. Despite his amused tone, Cove still held the wheel tightly, bracing for the volume of the coming conversation. Lee was clearly already excited for any potential scoop. Oh, was it Cove? Hi. Hi, Lee. She uncharacteristically remained silent after the greetings, waiting patiently for what this was about. Hey, Lee. Yeah? Will you be my maid of honor? She gasped dramatically before launching into a series of high-pitched questions. Okay. You really don't need the dramatically here. However, actually, it kind of makes me feel like she's acting rather than genuinely feeling the excitement. But either way, you didn't really need it. It's not exactly wrong, but whatever. High-pitched questions. The maid of honor? Me? Really? He chuckled comparatively quietly, definitely glad that he chose to keep the phone at a distance. Yes, of course. I'm asking you. You're definitely the right person. There's no one else that I'd want to do this with. Who else would I pick? It'll be fun. No one else I'd rather do this with. For a long time now, when you thought about your wedding, he was always there cheering you on. Thank you. I know, right? I'm pretty sure they were entirely unintentional. I didn't ask for them, but the modeler did good work. For a long time now, you knew this is where you wanted her as your maid of honor. Seriously, I can't imagine the day without you as my maid of honor. Totally, yes, I'm in. You know I am. Yes. I'm so just stunned about everything. My cousin is getting married. This is gonna be so amazing. Thank you, Lee. We appreciate the support. That's what family is for. I'm always just a phone call away. Thanks, Lee. We have some more wedding-related things to do, so we'll pick this up again later. Works for me. Good luck with the planning, and I expect a detailed report face-to-face soon. Of course. Bye, Lee. Bye, Corey. Bye. I'm still here. I'd never forget you. Bye. Oh my god. That's a phone call. Energized, you hung up, already awaiting the next time you see Lee in person. Stretching your arms out, you pleasantly took in the world rolling by out the window. Huh. Bye. Sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Taking a deep breath, you pulled up the contact for the next person on your mind. You hit the call button and waited. Jeremy. Oh, Kira. Staring at Kira's name, you hoped that she wasn't too busy. She luckily picked up only after a couple of rings. Hello, Curry. Hello, baby. Hi, Mom.
Huh?
Hi, Mom. How do you know I was here?
Come on.
When are you ever far from Corey, especially with what's been happening lately? Ah, yes. How are my best kids doing? Good, really good. Corey and I actually have something that we wanted to ask you. Oh, I'm all ears. Cove left it open for you to ask. I wanted to ask if you'd be a wedding crewmate in my party for the wedding. Oh, Corey, that's so sweet. Of course I'd want to be a wedding crewmate. How could I say no? You can count on me.
I'm
Pirates.
so glad.
Thanks, Mom. Yes, thanks so much, other mom. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. We have to keep going with more planning, but we'll talk to you later, okay?
Makes sense.
Good luck, my babies, and take care. I'll see you both again soon. Thanks again. Bye. Bye, Mom. Cope was elated when you ended the call. One more successful invitation was checked off the to-do list. Taking a deep breath, you pulled up the contact for the next person in your mind. You hit the call button and waited. You didn't have to hover over Derek's name. You hit call without another thought. You picked up before the second ring.
What's up?
Hey, it's Derek. How's it going? Hi, everything's great. Hey, Cope's there too. Talking to Derek always raised his spirits. You chuckled watching Cope's screen widen. Hey too. And Cope's red. Things are good.
Awesome.
Awesome. Did you both need to talk to me about something specific, or is this just for fun? Yeah, about that. I just wonder if you would want to be a groomsman for me.
Leave it to me.
Oh hell yeah! Of course I'd want to be in your party. Dude, I'll be there to catch you if you faint. It's gonna be an intense emotional day. Cope let out a deep sigh that morphed into a stuttering laugh. His cheeks burned a deep red. You all knew well enough that there was a high possibility of that situation happening during your wedding. Okay. Hear me out here. The Sunset Bird Polycule. Okay? It's Derek and Cove. They're banging, of course. And of course it's Derek and Baxter. They're absolutely banging, for sure, right? And then there's Baxter and us, right? The main character, totally. Baxter, us, and Cove at the same time. Perfect, right? Derek and Baxter doming Cove. Absolutely great. Good stuff, right? Lee is not related by blood, so it's fine. So Lee and us doming Cove, that'd be perfect. Yes. The Sunset Bird Polycule is a great idea. I'm okay with that. That's my new headcanon. Is she's burned a deep red? Okay. Thank goodness that's exactly what your job is. Is that what all your training has secretly been about all this time? You laughed. Can we have a little more faith in me?
Don't worry about that.
We do, but we also want to be prepared, you know, just in case. You peeked at the pout Cope was trying to pretend wasn't there. The wedding was going to be one of the most emotional days in your life, but you had complete faith in Cove. You could hear Derek snicker again over the line, but he so settled down, your cheeks were starting to hurt from smiling so much. Seriously, congrats again, you two. It means a lot to me that you'll get to be there with you through this. Okay. You shook your head amused. Well, thanks. So glad you're imagining complications for our wedding. Hey, you're giving me an important job. I want to be prepared.
Don't worry about that.
At least knowing you two, that's probably the worst case scenario, and it's not even that terrible. So keeping his focus ahead, Cove cracked a small smile. I guess. Okay. It's okay, Cove. I love you for being you. Aww, Cove continued staring at the road, but his mouth twitched like he couldn't decide between a pout and a grin. You watch him fondly. I love you too, Corey, but why do you have to say those things? Poor Cove, it's because I love you.
Come on.
And because it's true. Still keeping his focus ahead, Cove cracked a small smile. Alright. Is this what all your training has secretly been for? Hey, don't go airing all my secrets out like that. I'm touched.
No problem.
Don't get me wrong, sports are fun, but I can take care of people when they need a helping hand, so don't worry about the big day. I got you. You could hear Derek snickering again over the line, but he soon settled down. Your cheeks were starting to hurt from smiling so much. Seriously, congrats again, you two. It means a lot to me that I'll get to be there with you through this. Okay. Exactly with your job. I'm so glad we're on the same page. Thanks.
I gotcha.
Here for whatever you need. Okay. Thank goodness. That sent both you and Derek into a fit of giggles. Both Cope let out another loud sigh as he drove. You're two of my favorite people. Why do you have to say those things? I'm keeping this one. Because I love you.
Come on.
And because it's true. Keeping his focus on the road, Cope cracked a small smile. Alright. You could hear Derek snickering again over the line, but he soon settled down. Your cheeks are starting to hurt from smiling so much. Seriously, congrats again, you two. It means a lot to me that I'll get to be there with you through this. Thanks for being there, Derek. I don't think we can thank you enough for all of this. You're pretty sure that you had knocked him speechless. All you could hear over the line were some sniffles. Aww. You both felt fortunate to have such a good friend in Derek. Cope glanced at you with eyes full of affection before moving things along. That's what we're calling about. And now there's even more wedding planning to get to.
See you.
Well, I won't keep you. I'm glad you called though. See you later. Yeah, you will. Bye. Bye, Derek. Bye. Leaning back in your chair, you find... There's a car? There are no chairs in cars. There are no chairs in cars. Okay? Unless you've done some extensive modifications, there are no chairs in cars. Your seat. Leaning back in your seat, you finally put your phone away and slid your attention towards Cove with an easy smile. The high excitement was fading and leaving a comfortable tiredness in its place, but you wouldn't trade the joy and support you got today for anything. Cove gave a little cheer of your mutual success.
Yeah.
We did it! We have wedding parties! Cove didn't take his focus off of the road, but you could hear every bit of relief in his voice. The corner of his mouth curved. I mean, I guess it's not exactly surprising that things went fine, but it's hard to act casual about any of this. I know how you feel, matters so much to me too. Can believe, it's okay to lighten up, you know. Well, you and me, Cove, you weren't panicking just a little. You put a reassuring hand on his shoulder. Cove stole a quick glance at you sweetly. You didn't have to say a single word because you both knew how much you shared his sentiment. This was a big, exciting deal. You couldn't be happier to have Cove to share this with. The tension in his body slipped away under your touch.
All right.
Okay, let's hurry to Baxter's office. There's a whole rest of a wedding to plan for. Right. A new day and another visit to your new wedding planner came down the rushing river that was your life at this time. You, Cove, and Baxter each settled into the same spots as the appointment prior, but there wasn't any of that initial shock. Instead, things started off with a simple greeting. Hey, we have a wedding party now. Everyone we wanted accepted. Oh, you work faster than I do. Wonderful. I'll check it off, and we can move fully forward. I hope you're excited. Couldn't be more. It couldn't be more. Doesn't work. If you want to use it as a short answer, it has to be I couldn't be. Otherwise, you have to say I couldn't be more excited. Like the full thing. You also can say I couldn't, I guess. I hope you're excited. I couldn't. Right? It doesn't entirely work. But it's either I couldn't be or I couldn't be more excited, the full sentence. From nod, take it or leave it. Ko sighed in an affectionately long-suffering way. I am, anyways. Well, he pulled out his pen while crossing his legs in a fluid motion. Our company has its own in-house photographer for your event, so that's taken care of. But there's the meal catering, cake, and any other desserts you want. I want a cake. It's cake, of course. The cake is not a lie. Baxter coyly grinned at the abrupt interruption. Unbothered. I'm sure you'll get your treat then. Along with those are the outfits for you both, and you'll naturally need to decide. Yes, where the ceremony and reception will be held. If you're feeling unprepared to make a call on any of that now, we could always start with dance lessons. What are you feeling? Knowing where the wedding is gonna be is pretty important to get done, but on the other hand, it's such a big thing, it's kind of intimidating to think about. Cope tilted his head back and forth, mentally working through his opinion on the matter. Baxter watched the struggle for a moment before bringing it back up. Corey, any thoughts for your husband? We could decide the menus now. It shouldn't be put off longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with this one. Shopping. Sans, cake, caterer. No,
Yeah.
menu is better. Baxter rubbed his hands together and grinned at you.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we're getting serious. Cope gulped, his Adam's apple briefly retreating up into his chin as if afraid, but he had nodded his assent.
All right.
Curry is right. We should decide this. His eyes met yours as he bobbed his head again. Let's do it. You sat up straight, your back tearing away from the comfort of the sofa's cushioning, as you readied yourself for such a critical discussion in your wedding preparation. Here we go. Good. There are stunning buildings in the area which used to be private locations but have since opened up, specifically for wedding ceremonies, for any couple who would like to make use of them. Naturally, there are also plenty of commercial locations which can easily host a full-sized after-party for your reception. His mouth twitched into a sly smile. Or, if you'd prefer something outdoors, there's always the beach. He fucking remembers Cove. He remembers Cove very well. He chuckled, fully aware of what an obvious suggestion that was for his current clients. Yep. You could go for a spot that can host both parts of the wedding, so it's entirely in one location. But there's no harm in making a little trip from the ceremony to the reception afterwards either. Take it from someone. So, I've never been married. I don't know if I ever will be. However, my mother married her husband, not my father. When I was in my 20s, thereabouts, right? And, first time she was ever married, by the way. So, if you ever wonder, is Corey a legitimate child or illegitimate? I am indeed a bastard. Where was I? Oh yeah. Ceremony and party in the same place. Please do it. It's easier. Come on. Let me just get drunk so I don't have to worry about driving. Which, funny enough, I didn't know that I was going to be driving people, family members who traveled from all over the country to be at the wedding. I didn't know that I was in charge of driving them after the party until I'd already had a couple of drinks, and then I was like, and then they told me that I was in charge of driving them back, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'm not drinking anymore tonight. Ooh. So yeah. And at one point, we stopped at a place to take some pictures, right? Or rather, my mom wanted us to stop at a place to take some pictures. We went there, we stopped, right? I was driving one car, an uncle was driving another car, someone else was driving my mom and her husband, or maybe they were driving themselves, I don't remember, right? But we stopped at the place to take the pictures. And I wasn't drunk by that point, or ever during the night, really. I got tipsy enough for a little bit, but I stopped drinking once I knew I was gonna drive. Anyway, my uncle, the one who was driving the other car, he didn't stop. And so when we got to the place for the pictures, well, it is a public place that is relatively popular, so there's usually at least one cop parked there, sometimes more than one, just chilling for a little bit. I don't know why or whatever. So there we are. My uncle's drunk as hell, practically hanging off of the cop. I'm just surprised he didn't get arrested for and picked up for a DUI. Oh god, that's probably, yeah. Anyway, yeah, okay. It's entirely up to you. He held up a hand, stopping himself mid-flow, but continuing to smile wryly. But I didn't wish to get carried away in a preamble. Where would you like us to start? He leaned in, not planning on missing one word. The hand which he'd held in the air now, propping up his chin. Can we figure out where the ceremony will be held first? Options? Doesn't matter. You glance over at Cove, curious to see what he was thinking. Cove picked up on your prompt immediately. Oh, then if nobody cares, I'd like to talk about the location. For the ceremony? Cove bit his lip and as he weaved his fingers together in his lap. When he spoke again, his voice was soft and sweet, but just a little sheepish. That's the one I'm most excited about. Gladly. He relaxed back into his rolling chair. Baxter relaxed into his rolling chair. Yeah, okay. So, here's an issue. Technically speaking, we have Baxter here gladly saying, okay, Baxter is saying this. He relaxed back into his rolling chair. Here, we don't actually have any indication of who is saying this. And just because we have Baxter talking back here, it doesn't mean that this is still Baxter rolling back into his rolling chair, right? So attribution is important. Change this he for Baxter. Relaxed back into his rolling chair, then took out a phone with one hand while extracting his pen with the other. I've got photos of the places I mentioned to let you actually get a feel for this scene. Baxter tapped away at his screen, pulling up the previews of potential ceremony locations for your wedding. While he was partially preoccupied with that, he rattled off the specific kinds of locations you could use. So there's a few spots I'd like to show you. There's a mansion that was formerly privately owned, as well as a church, a mosque, or a synagogue in the same vein. There's the beach, as always, or perhaps a different outdoor spot. Alright, Cove, up to you. Cove's eyes darted over to Baxter and back to you as he spoke up tentatively. Okay, tentatively, don't need it. Take it off, put something else. Cove's eyes darted over to Baxter and back to you as if unsure of what to say before he spoke up. So we're allowed to mention our own ideas for places. There we go. The hill. He's gonna go for the hill or the clearing with the flowers. Baxter nodded amiably. Certainly, what do you have in mind? Well, he was looking at you, down at his shoes as he spoke. Taking a deep breath, he glanced over at you. There's the poppy hill. Called it. Fucking called it. You grinned back at Cove. It made sense given his starring role in yours and Cove's shard story. Cove, still flustered, returned your grin sheepishly. He was clearly pleased to see that you'd been happy with his suggestion. He turned back to Baxter. It's where we first met.
That's sweet.
That's sweet indeed. He tilted his head away and closed his eyes. Man, I remember seeing it when I was there. Cove's gaze was fixed on Baxter with rapt attention, awaiting his verdict. It's really small and round. Cove deflated, his shoulders sagging. Baxter opened his eyes again and continued. If you don't mind your guests having to stand, there's just not room for chairs. There's just not. So, this is not how you put this sentence. There's just not room for chairs. It's, you can technically say it that way and people will get it. But technically you're supposed to go, there just is not. There just isn't room for chairs. You could still set up a simple ceremony there. Cove chuckled as he straightened up in his seat. Could be worse. The confidence had been restored to him. Having Baxter take his suggestion seriously and even offer ways to accommodate it had helped put Cove at ease. Then he checked over to you. Wouldn't have to do it there though. If it's the poppies you want, there is another option.
Does that sound alright?
I know of a bigger, flatter field of those flowers in the Sunset Verde area. It would be spacious enough to have full setup there. We've been there.
Oh,
Oh! Cove's eyes lit up in recognition. I know the one you mean. His expression turned dreamy, and he lowered his voice in a whisper. It's a beautiful place. He was reminiscing about that day years ago, when you'd taken him there as a surprise. You recalled it vividly, from how hard he tried to surprise you, to the way you turned the tables on Cove that morning and brought him to the wide field of poppies. He tried. So, here. You recalled it vividly from how hard he had tried to surprise you, because we're talking about an experience in the past at a point that is not specific, right? We know the date, right? So we had tried. If you knew the date, then yeah, he tried to surprise you on that Sunday morning and blah 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 blah, right? Anyway, thinking it made you hurt. Thinking on it made your heart swell. The passion from that day stirred once more. Your younger self had longed to make Cove happy. You were glad that they'd succeeded. Looking at Cove, his expression tender, you could see that the victory continued to this day. Very nice. Then Cove jolted in his seat, his head snapping up as another idea came to him. Are people allowed to have weddings or whatever in Redwood Forests? Okay. Even though it's kind of further away, that's an amazing place to be in. He drew his feet in close to the sofa as he looked down, growing shy. We've made some special memories there. Yeah. Baxter nodded surely. It is an option for certain spots. We could get it set up, if you want. Cub grinned, delighted. Baxter spread his hands wide, holding the pen and his phone with his fingers so that you could see the palms of each hand.
Well,
Those are the ideas, it sounds like. Tell me, what's standing out most for you?
well.
Okay, so whenever you use most, right? This is what we call a superlative. Standing out the most. If you have most, you need the. It's not negotiable. Okay, that's not entirely correct. There are some situations where you can go without the, but generally speaking, you need an article there, right? Tell me, what's standing out the most for you? Should be the correct way of writing that. The beach. Church, mosque, synagogue, mansion, poppy field, beach. It's tough. But if Cope wants the poppies, the poppy field outside town, for sure. Right? I'm honestly surprised he didn't choose the beach. But hey. Baxter made a ring with his finger and thumb, and as he gave an okay sign, it took him a little while to find a good photo. Or the Redwood Forest. Baxter swept through the sources to show you a clearing in the Redwood Forest that was used for events like yours. Fuck, that's a tough choice. What do you think? It's a tough one. Poppy Field or Redwood Forest? Generally speaking, I've never really been like super into the idea of destination weddings because it feels terribly inconvenient. But it sounds like it'd be a cool wedding. You knew those towering trees well, and you'd heard that they were some of the oldest living trees in the entire world. A lot of history would have happened under those boughs, and your ceremony could be another addition to that long list.
It's nice.
Those are the best kinds of trees in the world. I think the trees we took there were always great too. Though if we did have it here, Elizabeth would definitely crack jokes about how she totally calls getting married right there over a decade ago. Totally would. Thank her for the wonderful idea. Kidding, back then it doesn't count. Can't believe how long we'd had to put up with this. I could already picture her big, smug face. Cobb's eyes sparkled with curiosity as he watched you, wondering how you felt about it. Fuck. Really? A destination wedding? We can try it again later. Cobb's eyebrows rose in response to your statement. The Redwood Forest? His wavy brows relaxed, sloping gently as he smiled softly. I would love that. It'd be perfect for the two of us. Her body tried to gasp and laugh in excitement at the same time, resulting in a short, breathy snort. Breathy snort, followed by an accelerated giggle. We're going to have a Redwood Forest ceremony.
Exciting.
God, Baxter, why are you so hot? He smiled indulgently, like a teacher allowing the class a moment of levity before bringing them back to their studies. Before you get fully carried away, there's still the reception location to consider. Baxter glanced down at his phone, nodding almost imperceptibly as he clicked away to get the information he needed. There's a couple of big halls you could consider, one which is frequently used for dances and another for more formal events. There's also a large room in a historic mansion that could host the reception, the same one that I mentioned before. A rather new option is actually the aquarium in the city over, which now has the bandwidth to host private events. It's going to be the fucking aquarium. Cobb's jaw dropped, and he uttered a single word.
Seriously?
Really? Really? It'd be the main display room? It'd be in the main display room with the floor-to-ceiling tanks. His mouth continued to hang open, his face frozen. It was certainly a rare opportunity, and you couldn't think of anyone who'd be as excited by the option as Cove. As such, the news had temporarily stunned him. All at once, he blinked rapidly, closing his mouth in a hurry. Your attention returned to Baxter. The aquarium was certainly an option to keep in mind, but there were many other appealing choices to consider. Nope, aquarium. Or if you wanted something outdoors, there's always the beach, of course. And as you've already having your ceremony at the Redwood Forest, holding the reception there as well would be an easy answer to this. Like before, if there's anything you want to bring up yourself, that's perfectly fine. In fact, I recommend it. He pursed his lips as he dug around in his mind, pondering the possibilities. As a thought struck him, he shifted to face you. What about the country club your moms are a part of? Really? The country club? Over the aquarium. He snapped his fingers over and over, trying to dredge the name back up to his tongue. What's the name of the country club?
Right.
They had their anniversary dinner there, you know the one, yeah. He closed his eyes, brows furrowed deeply as he tried to recall it. We were torn on whether or not to bail him out. Before he'd come to a decision, Baxter caught on and fill in the blanks. Ah yes, the Cypress, I believe. He nodded. Baxter returned the gesture as Cove opened his eyes again, looking both relieved and like victory had been swept from under him.
It's doable.
They would absolutely be able to host your reception, especially since your family are already members. Cove beamed. It's cool if you go to one of the other things, I just thought it was an idea. I agree, it was a smart suggestion. I have no doubt that they do an excellent job if he shows them, but it's really what feels comfortable for you. Baxter leaned in, perching his chin on the knuckles of his left hand. He was still holding his pen and his phone, ready to leap into action.
What do you think?
What's holding the most interest for you right now? We can talk it over. That's the aquarium. On. Baxter held up a finger to indicate that he wouldn't be a moment. That was very nearly all it took, as he was able to locate the picture of the aquarium's large display room with ease. Come on! A party here? Fucking amazing, come on! He showed his screen to you and Cove. As he gazed at his beloved watery world, Cove bobbed his shoulders from side to side. With his attention locked on the screen, you wondered if he was even aware he was doing it. It's like they made it available for weddings just for Cove. Pretty place, how you feel, chuckled. It's like they made it a wedding location venue just for you. Finally, Cove pulled his gaze from the phone and glanced over his shoulder to you. You could tell that he was trying to figure out what you were thinking. I feel like that's going to work. What do you think, Cove? Cove lifted an eyebrow thoughtfully. The aquarium for your reception? His voice left it at the end, as though he was asking a question, but he didn't seem to expect an answer. Rather, it was as though he was contemplating the feel of the words on his tongue, checking that they felt right. As a final test, Cove broke into a grin. I think you're right. It would match with us for sure. You let out a sigh of satisfaction, pleased that Cove had come to the same conclusion that you had. You'd already begun visualizing your reception there, and known it had to happen. The aquarium was definitely the right choice for the two of you. The energy was mounting. With the venues picked, your idle daydreams of the big day moved from hazy imaginings to sharp clarity. The excitement radiated off of you and Cove. Off you and onto Cove. Oh, that's a weird way to put it. He pulled himself closer to you on the sofa, your legs brushing against each other. Sensing that his audience was becoming distracted, Baxter quickly spoke up. A ceremony at the Redwood Forest and the reception at the aquarium after, Looking thoughtful, Baxter tapped his pen against the side of his desk. Your eyes were drawn to the source of the noise. He tilted his hand as if to tap it once more, the pen idly rolling between his finger and thumb. And then he smiled.
Perfect.
Sounds like a wedding. I'll make it happen. It's perfect. Cope spun to face you, his eyes alight with glee. You got your wedding locations? You felt every thump of your heart beating in your chest. It was a thought so simple and yet so monumental that you were struggling to accept it all at once. You knew where your wedding was going to be. You looked back at Cove, thrilled, seized his hand on his shoulder. You leaned over to kiss Cope's cheek. Your lips lingered on his skin only for a moment, yet Cope was so flushed when you pulled away. The sudden display of affection had caught him by surprise. We're getting married, cheered. We're gonna have a wedding. It's gonna be great. I'm so happy. Thank you, Baxter. I'm so happy. You blurted the words out without thinking, overcome with emotion. Cope chuckled at your words. Gazing into his eyes, you knew that all that he could think about was the day that you'd just taken another step towards planning. Reviewing the venue options had taken up the bulk of your allotted time with Baxter. You would now need to reach out to the location managers and make arrangements, so you came to the mutual agreement that it ended here and let him take care of the matters right away. Goodbyes followed, then you and Cove giddily left the office and spilled out onto the street together. It was a great way to end that day's work. You and Cove arrived at Baxter's office on the dot of the allotted time. Emotions were still high from the preparations of the previous day. After having settled on as the process had gone on, Cove's nerves had shot back to their initial appointment levels. Greetings were exchanged, and Baxter didn't leave a space open for Cove to get lost in. Your planning went right to the point. What shall we be doing today? How about we just pick caterer, cake, clothes, dance? caterer. How about we just pick a caterer? Alright. Cove's brightening enthusiasm was no surprise to you. Food always excited him. Baxter placed his hands on the arms of his chair and lightly tapped it with the tips of his fingers.
In that case...
That should be a nice time. I'll make sure you find the proper service to meet your needs, but don't worry. I won't get in the way of deciding any of the details for the menu. Thanks. I appreciate that. After that, the rest of the session circled around finding a specific catering company, and eventually you'll agreed on one in particular. They were able to make arrangements with you right away. One phone call and you had scheduled a time to go over the details in person. That included a meeting with the chef too. And as an added bonus, this would all happen before your next appointment with Baxter. It was a relief knowing that the menu would be taken care of by the next time you saw him again. Until then, there wasn't much else to do. It was time to leave. Thanks again for your help.
See.
It was my pleasure, of course. I await your next visit. We'll be back soon. Bye. What, we don't get to pick a menu? Baxter nodded with a genuine smile, and he nodded and as he watched you head out the door. Once you were outside the offices, you noticed the little pep in Cope's step. You were both in good spirits. Chipping away at the wedding planning had a special way of doing that. On the scheduled appointment with the caterer, you and Cove eagerly arrived at the location specified over the phone. You were led inside the building past the sitting room and directed into their commercial kitchen. It was sleek, silver, and so clean that it sparkled. That observation alleviated some worries right away. Ah! Bye, Boku, take care. Have fun. Hugs. That observation alleviated some worries right away. Next to you, Cope's eyes wandered the space with intrigue. Along the back wall, you spotted a woman at a sink large enough to be an arm's length deep. She looked over her shoulder and grinned broadly. Hold on, I'll be right there. She finished washing up and swiftly crossed the room, drying her hands on her apron. When she reached you and Cove, she gave a little bow. Hi, I'm the head chef and your caterer. I hear that you're getting married and are in need of sustenance for your friends and family. Yeah, we are. Well, I can assure you that you've come to the right place. We provide a full course meal with a menu tailored to your taste and requirements. We'll also include all the plating, silverware, and glasses. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Why don't you introduce yourselves? A bit stunned by the speediness of the chef's candor, Go took the opposite approach and slowly, awkwardly pointed to himself. I'm Cove, the groom. And my name's Corey, I'm the bride. I love it, you can call me Rhonda. Okay, hi Rhonda. Hi Rhonda, thanks a bunch for meeting with us. Marvelous, I know. Now, I have a little pamphlet that I'm gonna go grab. You can read it, leave it on the counter, use it as a coaster, it's okay. I'm gonna explain everything myself anyways. Think of it as an extra guide. Rhonda waved the idea of any formality with both hands as she also nonchalantly. Rhonda waved away the idea of any formality with both hands as she also shrugged nonchalantly. Cove chuckled shyly, leaning towards you while she lightly jogged to the other side of the room, of the kitchen. She scooped up 2 information sheets and came right back. Rhonda confidently stretched her arm out all the way to the to offer you each a pamphlet. Both of you accepted one. Cove turned his around in his hands, inspecting it carefully. You studied the one in your hands too. Well, now that I've remembered that, we can get into the nitty-gritty. Let's shop talk the menu. You can choose to have a single menu that's consistent across the board. Easy peasy. Or we can do up to fully separate types of menus based on the different dietary needs. Guests could choose between them and we'll prepare as much of both as needed. It practically goes without saying, but we'll be able to accommodate individual plate changes if any come up. No S. Any is technically something that encompasses all, as in a plural, but it's actually, yeah, precisely because of that. It's come. If any come up rather than comes. If you want to use comes, you will have to use the singular. If one comes up, both work. For example, a situation where just one or two people need some specific elements left out, we can work with that without needing to make another full selection for it. So what kind of menu do you two have in mind? I'm sorry. One with no special requirements. There wasn't anything in particular that you felt like you needed to restrict or make specific arrangements for. Your group of friends and family could work with whatever. And with like a second one that was one with full-scale exclusions for taste and allergies. Not a problem. The chef pulled out a notepad and a pen. She listened closely as you explained the types of foods you'd like to be included based on the individual needs of your group. Turning to Cove, you checked to see if he had opinions on the menu. How does that sound? I think that we have a good plan going. Great. That's the biggie already done then. Let's keep that ball rolling. Alright, what's next on the agenda? At the minimum, there's gonna be a main entry in our service, so that's a one course automatically. And if you're having cake or another dessert, that'll technically be another course for your guests. Although that doesn't count as one of the portions that we offer here. I can go up to 6 courses, the dinner, and as many as 5 additional portions. So we're looking at salad, soup, appetizer again, this time cold, and or a palate cleanser. Do you know how big you want the service to be? 1 course meal, 2 course meal, 3 course, 4, or 6. I've never had a 6 course meal. I feel like everyone should have a 6 course meal at least once, right? Right? Yeah. Cove laughed abruptly, then he stared at you now for a moment. Do you still mean that a 6 course meal plus the dessert we're getting? Why not? Go big or go home. Wow, okay, the whole thing it is then. The last thing I'm gonna be upset is more food. The last thing I'm gonna be upset over is more food. In that case, there's no need to select which types of extra courses you're having, because you'll be getting 1 each. The corners of Cove's mouth bent to an amused grin as he lightly reached over to squeeze your hand. You could tell that he was getting more excited about this plan by the second. You shared that feeling wholeheartedly. 6 course meal? Please, hit me. Seriously, why bother picking between things when you can enjoy them all? Perfection. Oh, and how much heat are you expecting for the dishes? We can keep it all very mild, or we can easily push the spice levels up. Mild as the base, please. Generally medium. All spicy. Burning hot. Spicy for the main entree. Less for the extras. You looked over at Cove, waiting for him to answer. Cove met your eye, and you could tell that he was mulling over the same problem, and you caught that lightbulb moment in the way that he brightened. How about we keep the meals mild, and we put out sauces and stuff on the table so people can adjust the food to their preferences? Is that possible? Fair enough. Yes, of course we can do that. That's a perfect idea. It's fine, very Mexican, really. Cope's suggestion made sense, but his cheeks still reddened from your compliment, and that only made your grin widen. And the chef backtracked through her notes for a second. She thought over everything that you had discussed until she could pin down exactly what was slipping her mind. What about the drinks? Are we just water please party, a coffee and tea group, or hard drinkers. There's always at least going to be water even if you have other options, so don't worry about that. Oh, I'd like there to be coffee, tea, liquor, beer, cocktails, sparkling water, juices. Nah, not wines. As much as I like no, milk, because coffee. Alright, no wines. I think we covered it. There's nothing else I'd want to add. Well, I'll make it happen. So that's the menu type, Neo scale and spice level, and beverage basics. Please, Rhonda rolled her sleeves up. Her gaze fell on you and Cove with a new determined gleam. Let's go deeper. Cove smiled nervously at the chef's intensity, but he didn't wilt completely. He had a sneaking suspicion his remaining strength came from the topic still being about food. Give me one moment, you guys. Alright, let's get going. Cove smiled nervously. Okay, no, next. The conversation continued from there. It dug into the specifics, such as the main protein inside ingredients, the style of cuisine the foods would be based on, and so on and so on. It took a fair bit of time, but eventually a finalist selection was arranged. You couldn't get over how delicious everything sounded the longer the conversation went. By the end, Cove appeared just as relieved and excited as you were about the food. But most of all, you were so grateful to have a set menu plan for the wedding. Rhonda, however, hadn't slowed at all. I see that you're both settling down for a rest, but you just hang on and stay with me for a little longer. We're not done yet. Oh, there's something else? Yes, and it's called presentation. We can do all levels of flair for your meal. Were you planning at? Were you picturing a plane? Huh, 1 second. That's weird. What the hell? No. Were you picturing a plain Jane approach or something more hoity-toity? That is a word that you don't see very often. Hoity-toity. I love it though. Fucking love it. I think Jane approach or something more hoity-toity. What are we talking about here? What do you mean? The stuff just needs to be in the plate. Some care was put into the arrangement. Extra steps to be an excellent presentation would be appreciated. No, presentation. Okay? Look. I understand that there's not technically any supposed inherent, real, tangible value to presentation for dishes. However, there's a reason that we have things like the Michelin Guide, right? With restaurants fighting to have a 5 Michelin rating. So presentation is important. She's right, it'd be good if it felt special for that day of all times. That works for us. So as I started to talk about way back when, we'll provide the plates and the utensils and such. Is there a world where they don't? Our plates are white, but they can be completely plain or have little swirly details around the edges. What do you think of that? Before you or Cove could even consider giving an answer, she held both her hands up to stop that and stole a glance over her shoulder. Ah, wait, give me another sec. I'll grab some stacks. You should see before choosing anything. Again, without leaving a window to say anything in response, Rhonda darted off deeper into the kitchen. Cope stared after her as she went. His expression was deadpan. Can't pick the plates. Oh my god. I feel that vibe. I feel your energy, Cope, right now. Thank you. Yes. Alright. I'll handle it. Why? Does it look like I want to pick up plates? Casually, you shook your head clearly. An upward clattering came from the direction. She came forward and had placed a pile of plates balanced in each of her hands. She stepped up to clear the counter space. Spoke cheerily. Okay. Why does it look? Okay, so here's the deal. Thank you. It is a little bit of a sarcastic flair, right? So, it's okay. But we don't know if that's what it sounds like. Yes, excited. It's nice, you know. I'll talk about this in a moment. Alright, I'll handle it. Funny. Right? Funny. What can I say? It's like, he doesn't know how to do it, I don't know how to do it, but fine, I'll handle it. Right? Now, what? Does it look like I want to pick up the plates? Great, love it. Self-explanatory. Not casually, sure. No, very chill, very relaxed. Got it. We'll save you. And you shook your head clearly. Even funnier. However, I'm gonna go with yes, excited. Because plates are all not made equal. There are good plates, there are meh plates, and there are bad plates, dishes, whatever. And they are all not the same. And if I'm getting married, okay, I get to choose the fucking plates to make sure that they're the correct plates. Okay? Cool. An abrupt clattering came from the direction she disappeared down, and a moment later, her caterer had reappeared. She kept her word and had piles of plates balanced in each of her hands. She stepped up to a clear counter space. I had a moment where I thought, and they heard a huge clattering of breaking dishes, and then she came back with 2 white dishes and asked us to choose between the 2 equally the same dishes, because it'd be funny. Their counter space. Rhonda spoke cheerily, almost musically, while laying out the first set of plates and some forks to go with them. Perhaps you knew for sure what they'd look like together. Here's the white. Bev looked on distantly, but he leaned forward to properly scrutinize the pure white dinner plates. And there's a swirl. As promised, this time there was an extra sign element on the plates. You considered it carefully. Now, what are you thinking? Hey, plain white, swirl. So here's the deal. I don't like this, right? In particular, I'm not a fan of the design. This one specifically. The idea has merit, of course. But even if I don't particularly like this design, these look cheap. These look these look bad. They look like disposable plates. Like plastic or paper. These look like actual serious dishes. And there's a swirl. Swirly. Please. Got it. Thanks for humoring me. Yep. Because you're getting both the hot and the cold appetizer cursors, there's an extra piece to this puzzle. Now, what we could do is just bring them out ahead of the meal and place them in front of each guest in their seat. But that's not our only option. We could have all the appetizers set out on a single table from the very start of the reception so guests can go over and eat as they please. I like this idea. Mingling, you know? Encourage the mingling so people get up, go to the tables, grab their stuff, talk. Very much water cooler talk sort of deal, but instead this is brain buffet table sort of deal. There we go. It's not really a buffet table, but a snack table sort of deal. Or we could even have servers walk around the room with platters of appetizers to offer guests for the party as they mingle. Oh, that's a magnificent feeling image, but nah, I'm gonna go with the table. Servers on the table, in front of the guests before the entree. Single table. I'm gonna go with single table. I think it would be best to leave them out on a single table, and that way everyone can go at their own pace. Makes sense to me. Perfect. Righto, that's what we'll do. Thank you. And now you can breathe. We're done. Brenda laughed happily as she closed her notepad and put it aside. Unnecessary. Don't need that happily. Take it off. You need to tell the reader what they are feeling. You need to tell the reader this. It should be self-evident by the laugh. Right? And if it's not enough, add something else that is not an adverb. Okay, cool. I'm good. At least not this way. This is kind of clumsy. Because laughed and happily, like, well, yes, obviously, duh. Like, I know there are laughs that are not happy, right? But generally speaking, and you assume that if you laugh, it's happily, and you also assume that it's generally a positive, and especially you assume because of the context, which is always important. Don't never forget the context of whatever you're writing, and especially never forget the context of your audience as they read it, reading it, right? Let their imagination do the work for you, right? You take this out and you simply let the imagination of your reader, of your audience, come up with it. They're going to laugh because they're having fun, they're happy, right? Because of the entire context and the whole feel. Holy shit, why did this turn into a fucking 400 level or 300 level English class? Creative writing class. Sorry. I should go back to college, do more. That'd be fun. Get my master's degree. Shit. I'm gonna have to go back to college, aren't I? Because I actually like my subject matter. I didn't expect to have deep, real feelings tonight. Definitely did not expect that. But hey, guess I'm gonna go back to college, I guess, because Fuck me. Anyway, Rhonda laughed happily as she closed her notepad and put it aside. Okay, cool. I'm glad we have that worked out. Thank you very much, Rhonda. That's great. Thanks for all the help. It's my pleasure. We're looking forward to knocking your socks off. It'll be a 6-course, double menu, mild meal that your guests will be talking about for years to come. I promise. Honestly, I believe it. Neat. One last quick question. Sure thing. How do we get out of here again? Brenda clapped her hands and let out a deep laugh. Cove's face reddened with embarrassment. Go down the hall and take a left to another hall, then a right, and then you'll find the exit. It was so nice meeting you two. Thanks again. After that, you and Cove left the kitchen and made it out of the building in one piece. Following Rhonda's instructions, you both returned to the car with a bigger in your strides. It was amazing to get such a nice meal arranged in exactly the way that you both wanted it to be. The food was definitely something you were going to be daydreaming about from now until the big day. When you arrived at the office again, Baxter was already comfortably seated and scanning over his notebook. He glanced up from it at the sound of the door opening.
Hello, Phil.
Welcome back. What's on the menu? Baxter smirked, but Cove answered with complete earnestness. A lot of things. Delicious. What shall we be doing today? Alright. Fuck, what time is it? Yeah, alright. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and save right here. Cool. And leave it for tonight. Right? It is a little bit late, and I need to go do some stuff that I had to do until just now because I have a great memory. But I'm really looking forward to the rest of this. I'm having a little fun. Alright. For anyone who's still watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed this. And for anyone who isn't watching, I don't know how that would work. Same thing. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe, please. And I'll see you pretty soon for the ending, the final ending of Our Life Beginning and Always. And then I'm thinking, look, I wasn't actually planning on playing any more Helldivers on stream. And then, you know, the Helldivers dev team went, lol, no. And released a major update with a new faction, and I'm really looking forward to fighting them. So yeah. Once we finish this, it'll be more Helldivers. Anyway. Take care. Thank you for watching in. Have a good night. Subscribe. Where's the fucking button? There we go.